Ever felt drained after interacting with a certain person? You, my friend, might have encountered a toxic person. In our journey through life, we sometimes cross paths with individuals who can negatively impact our mental health and overall well-being. These folks, known as toxic people, possess characteristics that can leave us feeling exhausted, stressed, and demoralized. Their influence can be subtle yet pervasive, slowly chipping away at our happiness and self-esteem. Understanding and avoiding toxic people is crucial for our mental and emotional health. So what makes a person toxic? Let's delve into some common traits. Toxicity isn't always obvious, often it's subtle, insidious, and can creep into your life without you even realizing it. But there are certain characteristics that tend to signal someone's toxic nature. First up, constant negativity. You know the type. They always see the glass as half empty, focusing on the downside of every situation. Their negative outlook can be draining, sapping away your energy and positivity. It's like they're carrying around a personal rain cloud that drenches everyone in their path. Next, we have manipulation. This is a particularly damaging trait because it can be so hard to detect. Toxic people are masters of manipulation, twisting situations and conversations to their own advantage. They're often very charismatic, making it even harder to see their true intentions. They leave you second-guessing yourself and doubting your own judgment, which can be incredibly undermining. A lack of empathy is another key trait. Empathy is the ability to understand and share the feelings of others, and it's a fundamental part of healthy relationships. But toxic people often display a striking lack of empathy. They struggle to see things from other people's perspectives or to validate their feelings. This can lead to a one-sided relationship where your needs and emotions are overlooked. Lastly, toxic people are often perpetual victims. They have an uncanny knack for turning themselves into the victim, no matter the situation. It's never their fault. They're always the one being wronged. This can be exhausting to deal with as it creates a cycle of guilt and responsibility that can be hard to break free from. These behaviors can drain the energy and happiness of those around them. They shift the balance of relationships, making them more about power and control than mutual respect and understanding. It's important to remember that not everyone who displays these traits is necessarily toxic. We all have our off days and nobody's perfect. But if someone consistently exhibits these behaviors, it's a strong indicator of toxicity. Recognizing these traits is the first step in avoiding toxic people. Now that we know the traits, the next step is to identify if there are any toxic individuals in our lives. Toxic individuals aren't restricted to any particular group or relationship. They can be friends, family members, or coworkers. They might even be people we admire or look up to. Therefore, it's essential to understand that toxicity doesn't discriminate, and it's up to us to recognize and address it. So how do we spot a toxic person in our lives? Well, one of the most common signs is a feeling of constant exhaustion. If you find yourself regularly drained of energy after interacting with a certain individual, it may be a red flag. This isn't about physical tiredness, but rather an emotional and mental fatigue. You might feel like you're constantly on edge, unable to relax, and that's not healthy. Another sign to look out for is manipulation. Toxic individuals often use manipulative tactics to control others. They might twist facts, guilt-trip you, or use your insecurities against you. If you find yourself regularly questioning your actions or feeling guilty for things that aren't your fault, then it's time to reassess your relationship with that person. Toxic people also tend to disregard boundaries. They may consistently overstep personal boundaries, disregard your feelings, or make you feel uncomfortable with their actions. Remember, everyone has the right to set personal boundaries and to have those respected. Lastly, if you find your self-esteem taking a hit regularly because of a particular person, that's a major warning sign. Toxic individuals often undermine others, belittle their accomplishments, or make them feel inadequate. It's crucial to remember that everyone deserves respect and kindness. In a nutshell, if a relationship is causing you more harm than good, it might be toxic. It's not always easy to accept, but recognizing the signs is the first step towards protecting your mental and emotional well-being. Spotting these signs early can help you avoid falling into the toxic trap. We've identified the signs. Now, how do we deal with toxic people? The first step is setting boundaries. This might sound simple, but it's actually one of the most challenging things to do, especially if the toxic person is someone close to you. Boundaries can be physical, like limiting the time you spend with them, or emotional, like not allowing them to control your feelings. It's crucial to communicate these boundaries clearly and firmly. Next, avoid getting sucked into their drama. Toxic people often create chaos to manipulate or control situations. It's like they're the director of a drama, and they want you to play a part. But remember, you have the power to choose your role. You can decide not to participate in their drama. Seeking support from other loved ones is also key. When dealing with a toxic person, it can feel like you're facing a storm alone. But you don't have to. Reach out to friends, family, or a mental health professional. Sharing your experiences can provide perspective and help you realize that you're not alone. Finally, focus on self-care. Dealing with toxic people can drain your energy. It's important to take time for yourself to recharge and regain your strength. This could mean taking a walk in the park, reading a book, or even just taking a few deep breaths. The most important thing to remember when dealing with toxic people is that it's not your responsibility to change them. You can't control their actions or their words, but you can control your response. You can choose to protect your peace and well-being. So, don't let toxic people steal your joy. Set boundaries, don't engage in their drama, seek support and take care of yourself. You are worth it. Remember, it's not about changing them, but about protecting yourself. Dealing with toxic people can be challenging, but remember, your well-being comes first. Here's a quick recap. Identify toxic traits, recognize these individuals in your life, and learn strategies to avoid them. Prioritizing your mental and emotional health is crucial. It's about setting boundaries, respecting your self-worth, and understanding that it's okay to walk away. Never compromise your peace for the sake of others. Remember, you have the power to choose who you let into your life. Choose wisely, choose healthily.